Hi, my name is Sam Price, Crypto Lifer. Today we're going to do technical analysis on the macro. That's right, we're not going to get into the nitty gritty of the 1 minute. We're going to zoom out, look at the weekly, take a deep breath, relax, and see where the markets are headed on a macro scale. We're talking gold, Bitcoin, the S&P, NASDAQ, the total market cap of all of crypto, the total market cap of all these little altcoins, and more. We're going to show you Bitcoin dominance if you don't know what that is, Tether dominance as well. Let's jump on in right now. I'm the Crypto Lifer. Let's have some fun. Let's break down the charts. I'll see you in there. Let's go. So here we are. We're back here in the charts. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly. Right now, the weekly candle will close on Sunday night. If it closes red like this with a big wick to the downside, that's usually a bearish sign on the weekly. We call that tweezer tops. You can see they're tweezers because there's a slight wick sticking out, and that's a wick. Whenever I've seen a green candle with a red next to it, we have had a little bit of a pullback there, a pullback there, a pullback there, a pullback there. So it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Right there, technically, you could say, okay, so 4 out of 5 times. We have had a pullback, and I'm not counting that time. You could say, I guess, 4 out of 6 times. But more likely than not, we will have a pullback. In that case, you start looking at support on the weekly, and you can see 109,000 is the next big support. There's really no other area we could come to. So if this closes red, you could begin to possibly assume that if you pull the Fibonacci, that Bitcoin could come back down here to the 618 golden pocket and possibly get a bit of a retracement or maybe bounce off the support at 109,000. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen. We're going to look at some other things on like the 3-day and the daily. And we're not going to go too further in there, but that's the one thing we want to look at. We do not want to see the weekly candle close red. If that happens, we have to start thinking, could it be a pullback? Now, there's a chance it's just part of a bigger flag and that we flag out, and that's cool, and that is possible. You see, and that's where the 21-day moving average comes into play. It's pretty far right now, telling me that, either we're going to go on this parabolic move to the upside, which shows signs of an absolute breakout like this. Let me show you. Like this in itself is a giant rising wedge, and we are going to break out like this to the upside. So here's your macro idea, and we'll get rid of this for now. But that's your macro idea that you could basically break out somewhere to $180,000, and to me that would be a blow off top, wouldn't it? I mean, it would be like boom. At that point, you would think it's got to be time to take some profits in your altcoins or whatever you're in. Right? So, but it is what it is. We'll go from there, one step at a time there for Bitcoin. And 181,500 is kind of that topping target. We go to the 3-day chart, and the same thing's happening, but we're pretty close to the 21, but we're starting to get our first red candle close next to a green candle, which to me shows signs of some type of pullback or at least consolidation on the 3-day chart. So I'm looking for some type of flag, something like this happening for the 3-day. And that means maybe 9 days of sideways price action, 6 to 9 days. And then Bitcoin could be ready for its next bigger pump to the upside. So this is what I'm watching. It looks like definitely for the next 6 to 9 days until next week. Next week when we come, we may be ready for the pump or be just slightly getting out of here to the upside. So I'm leaning more bullish than bearish because we're above a big resistance and things are looking nice. And the moving averages aren't that far apart. But I do see just short term, slight pullback for Bitcoin, possibly to the next big move. We take a look at the total market cap for all of cryptocurrency, and that is total, right? And that shows all the money in crypto. And we had the inverted head and shoulder. We broke out, again, the 3-day away from the 21-day moving average. Has a beautiful pattern on the macro, has a beautiful target, but suggests that, yes, maybe we're going to have to pull back again. Let's take a look at that daily time frame. And the daily, yes, showing signs. And again, it could be a beautiful uptrend flag. Like sometimes if we're really bullish and people are really into the alts, and we'll trend upwards. I'm not exactly sure how the trend will be. I just would like to see consolidation. Sideways, downwards, or slightly upwards would all be great for me. And very bullish signs, you're looking more even sideways or trending up slightly like this. This looks like the case, the way the 21's curving. And when the 21 meets or gets close, total will break out again, and then we see the next big target all the way to $4.6 trillion actually. So that would be awesome for total. Remember, this is the entire market cap of all of crypto. Now we have total 3, the entire market cap of all the cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is all of the altcoins combined. Let's take a look at what happened there. So we talked about the cup and handle breaking out. We got it. We broke the high. We got the pump. Everything kind of happened as we wanted. We broke above this resistance. Things are going absolutely low, swimmingly, but we got to get back above here. $1.15 trillion. And the daily, yes, again, very far away from the 21 with a massive wick here. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit of a bounce would be nice for that wick and have it not close green. Have it close, not have it not close red and have it close green. You see, right now it's going to close, pretty weird with a big wick to the downside there. I'd like to see that kind of eat up on that wick a little bit, see how the 21 can come to price action, and then we can get a nice breakout out of here to the upside. So it does look, again, even the market cap for all the altcoins has to cool off a little bit before our next big pump. It was awesome. We had a huge injection, but now some type of consolidation looks needed. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just go to the moon, but it's more likely we consolidate back to the 21 here on the daily time frame. Moving forward, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, which finally let go and gave these altcoins some love. Look at how it fell off a cliff to the downside, and it lost the daily 200 moving average. Great sign. If we can get that to close below that, that shows signs of a bigger move to the downside, this bigger rising wedge breaking down, which then has a bigger measured move all the way to here, which will make these altcoins pump even more. And this will be alt season throughout July, August, and tells us even maybe towards the end of August. And then we'll have to, we'll see what happens. But right now, this is beautiful. I'd like to see this continue. I'd like to see the daily candle close here below that 200 moving average and continue to the downside. When you see this, you also want to see tether dominance falling off a cliff. That's how you know money's flowing into the altcoins, not into anything else. If tether dominance was going up, you'd be like, well, people are selling their Bitcoin for tether, but not the case. Right now, you can see people sold out of the bear flag, and we rolled over to the downside as we were supposed to. We went over this on the macro. Remember, we were here, head and shoulder, that this was going to dump to the downside. It did exactly that. This was we were going over this somewhere here on the 11th, last Friday, right? That this was likely, you had broken down. So last Friday, we were right about here, and it had broken down, and I wanted to see this bear flag continuing to the downside. Still some, it's attempting to make some bullish divergence, but if it's still bearish, what we'll do is we'll just make a bear flag here and then continue further to the downside. We don't want to see the shoulder, head, and right shoulder and find some type of bottom. So, in the next 2 days, if you see this head and shoulder, then maybe, fun's over for a little bit. But if we see it just go sideways and consolidate, then the dump is occurring. So we want to see sideways consolidation in Bitcoin, altcoins, and in tether dominance. Just nice sideways price action and then let the dump continue to the downside. So that's all looking pretty nice to me as well. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. I've been pretty bullish on them, right? Saying they were going to break out of this flag. I called that breakout. It happened. Now I'm seeing this sideways price action here, and consolidation is key. The more consolidation, the better. And I feel like it broke out, and it's now almost retesting the top of the channel. You see this? I wouldn't be surprised if the S&P bounces on Monday to the upside. My target takes it further to 650, 6,598, but 6,450 is the next big target. See how it's kind of curving here? I'm looking for that to bounce and make what's called a bullish retest and continue to 6,450 into next week. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, the E-mini futures. Same thing. They broke out from the flags that I talked about, but a little bit of bearish divvy there. I'm looking for these to either flag out or make a bullish bounce to the upside. Target there is 25,517 for the NASDAQ. We take a look at gold, and gold's actually back on the vengeance, back inside that pattern there. Looks like it'll bounce back to the top. And over time, if it continues to consolidate, I see gold consolidating and making a move all the way up to $30,974 an ounce. Pretty awesome if you think about it, right? Then we're going to skip on into the DXY and see what's happening to the dollar. The dollar had that nice move back to the upside, but kind of like fumbled around here and went back and forth. Look at this, right? Pretty crazy if you look at it. Just looks more like a shoulder, head, right shoulder. It did get back above the 4-hour 200 moving average, but well below the daily. And that's pretty bearish. But it is, whenever these get tight and you're away from the 200, you can basically either get a continuation, but it is telling you that you're getting a little more exhausted on the bearish side. So the DXY has been getting beat down. Does it bounce back a little bit? You know, it's good when it dumps, basically, for the altcoins. It's gone sideways, basically, for the last few days. And it has pumped with Bitcoin. It looks like it may go sideways, and you might see a shoulder, head, right shoulder. It looks like the DXY might get a little bit of a bump in the next week, right? Just what we're seeing here. I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm seeing. We'll come back to it next week, too, as well. Same time, same place. Last but not least, I want to look at ETHBTC. I want to see how ETH is beating up on Bitcoin, specifically on the bigger time frames. And I mean, look at that. I mean, it absolutely skyrocketed. We talked about it getting tight. I thought it would have to kind of consolidate a little more, but it got above the 200 and it was gone. I'm telling you, that 200 moving average, second you get above it, things just absolutely skyrocket. It doesn't even make sense. It defies all logic. No right shoulder was even needed there, or just a tiny one. And this thing's gone. My target for it is 33.65, 0.03365, and it looks like it's headed there. Again, just like everything else, though, there's a cool-off period. You know, you've done a beautiful rip. You've pumped. You're away from the 21-day moving average. You now need to come back to the 21 and cool off, hang out, and chill. I mean, you haven't even crossed the daily 200 yet. So, like, look for this in all likelihood to have some type of pullback, some type of healthy consolidation for a continuation to the upside. That's ETHBTC. All right. So that is it. That's going to be Bitcoin, right? Nicely done. Total 3. Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the DXY, gold, ETH Bitcoin, the S&P futures, and the NASDAQ futures all kind of wrapped up in one beautiful video for you. We're going to come back every single week and look at these same ideas, see the same levels, talk about what we went over, and see where we're at. If you like this type of technical analysis, show up on my live stream every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time right now, and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I also do an impromptu live stream in the weekend mornings to show you what you would get in the trading group at CryptoLifer.com. Find out more at CryptoLifer.com if you want to learn more about me, Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.